It is a brisk winter morning, probably in the low 60s, high 50s, but the sun's out with no clouds, and I am processing my beeswax that I have from the cappings from when I extracted the honey. As you can see, this has already been out, it's warmed up, and the wax is melted down through the paper towel that I have on top of a window screen over a glass cooking pan with about an inch of water on the bottom. What this does is it filters out all the propolis and other elements that I don't want in my beeswax and gives me beautiful beeswax that we can make lotions, lip balm, and other things from. The window screen is below the paper towel simply as a support to hold it in place. The water in the pan is there to keep the wax from sticking to the pan and help separate possibly any contaminants that go through. Although, as I've done this over and over, I've never had any contaminants going through. This is the least expensive, easiest way that I know to filter the wax. I simply put my solar oven out in the sun and let it do its thing. What I have here is some wax cappings that I've taken off from previous extractions. This is the one from yesterday. I've washed them out so there's no honey in here, and I'm just going to add this to my existing processing here so I can get this all taken care of now. You can tell there isn't much wax here, and it seems like a lot less than what we cut out when we're processing the honey. But once you get it cleaned up and get the honey removed out, you realize that you're really not taking off that much wax from the cappings. These are cappings from earlier this year that I've let the bees clean up, and you can see they make it very clean. There's no honey left in it, and they're very small flakes. So I'll go ahead and take these here, just pour them on top, and they'll heat up in the solar oven, melt down through, and I'll have beautiful golden clean wax. As you can see, I've piled in the cappings into the solar oven, and those would simply melt down through and fall down into the water and be suspended in the water. I found that with this solar oven, I don't have to worry about it getting too hot. Other solar ovens you might use that come with built-in reflectors are probably not good to use this with because it gets way too hot. I've also found that it works best not to put the clamps on here because that allows any extra moisture that may be in here because of the water bath to seep out. If I seal it up with these clamps, then it builds up kind of a fog inside and doesn't work as well. We'll go ahead and just let this sit out here for a few hours and filter down through. It's been about 20-25 minutes since I put the beeswax in here, and you can see how much it's melted down. The reason why it went so fast is because I already had it out here previously before I added the second batch of beeswax in there. As you can see, it's doing a great job, and all the parts that we don't want in there are actually staying on top. It is the morning after. I let the solar oven cool down last night with the wax in it, just so I didn't have to move it and worry about sloshing around the wax inside the solar oven. So I just come out in the morning, take the lid off. Everything in here is cold. This here is nice and hard. So when I lift this up, it actually pulls the wax off of the screen below it, which makes cleaning it very easy. You can tell where I had moved it yesterday and separated the screen from the paper towel. So this morning when I picked it up, it didn't pull this up. But where I left it alone, it cleaned that off really easy. Fortunately, this comes off easily enough under warm water and brush. And then underneath is the golden treasure. Look at this beautiful wax. You can see that it's floating in water. It's completely suspended here. Let me just put this down where you can see it. Beautiful cake of wax. Perfectly clean. There we go. And that will make a lot of lotions, creams, lip balms, and other things. I don't use my wax to make candles. I don't think that's a good use of the wax. To me, this is way too valuable to make candles out of it. But look at that beautiful wax. And look how clean that pan is. This is really the easiest way that I know to process the wax. I simply put the container outside, inside the solar oven, put a little bit of water in it,
Put this window screen over it. Now this particular window screen I had in a frame. You could simply use clothespins and hold the screen on. Put the paper towel over it, pile the beeswax on top, and let the sun melt it down and purify the wax. That is so pretty. And I'm done. Cleanup's a breeze. I didn't have to worry about standing over a stove. Didn't have to worry about catching things on fire by mistake. Didn't have to worry about overheating the wax and causing a flash point. Didn't have to worry about the wax getting too hot in this solar oven, because with the SOS Sport solar oven I have the option to use the metal reflectors. Highly recommend this SOS Sport solar oven. Highly recommend this way of processing your beeswax, which allows you to go about your business doing other things, and you end up with a beautiful sheet of wax the next day. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. And if you use the SOS Sports oven, a pan of water, some beeswax, and the sun, and just let it do its thing, you can end up with beautiful, golden, clean beeswax for all your favorite lotions, creams, and lip balms.